We welcome Quayde Bauman in, and the thing I've always wondered when I see your name, Quayde, where does that name come from?
It's kind of interesting, actually. My dad wanted to name me Quentin. My mom wanted to name me Wade, so they kind of put it together and got Quayde, yeah.
And that's why I guess there's a Y in there, probably?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure.
You have to tell the story a lot? Is it something people ask you?
Yeah, I've had to tell it a few times. Usually it's first it's like a pronunciation thing. People get it wrong, quad or something like that.
North Andrew High School, where you were obviously a good football player. I think I read you're All-State 4 years in a row. Mm-hmm. What was high school football like for you?
Different than a lot of guys. Played 8-man. So
you did?
It was a really small school, but it was a lot of fun. My freshman and sophomore year, we were kind of like a 500 team, and then my junior year, we got a new coach, and we kind of changed things up, and it was a lot of fun. Only we lost one game my junior and senior year combined, so it was a lot of fun, yeah. So a lot of fun. Football is different.
On defense, you were All-State, but every 8-man team I've been around, you play two ways. What did you play on offense?
I was a running back.
How'd you like that?
I loved it. Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So when I came here, a lot of people from home actually thought I was going to play running back.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, I had to.
Okay, but every defensive player, thinks they want to get their hands on the ball and run. Do you ever miss those days?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So if I see a ball cough up or something, I'm definitely trying to get after it so I can maybe get a little run or something.
Well, as a defensive player, you are very aggressive, and it shows up in your stats. 4 tackles for losses this year, big hits last year. And what's kind of your feeling on defense? What's your mindset?
Biggest thing I worry about is effort. Like our Coach Roger tells us, you can control attitude and effort, so I really try and focus on that. Especially playing linebacker, you got to get everybody in the right position, stuff like that. So it's a lot of responsibility, but if you can control your attitude and effort, then usually you have pretty good production on the field.
Well, let's start with getting people in the right position. Is that your responsibility in this defense?
Not solely, no. It has evolved more this year than previous years. Moving inside, but mainly I control the guys in the box, and then the safeties can kind of get the coverages and stuff set up like that. So a little bit, but I also have a lot of guys that help with that, so it's not just me.
Let's go then to the attitude thing. Where does that come from? If not Coach Rozier, where did you find that attitude?
Since I was a little kid, my parents always just told me, if you don't have a good attitude, we'll pull you off the field ourselves. So,
good.
So I kind of learned at a young age, you got to control your attitude a lot and have a really great work ethic.
Right.
Sorry. So,
tell me a little bit about your family. Let's start with your mom and dad. What do they do for a living?
My mom is a elementary principal, and my dad has a construction company.
So your mom knew what you were doing all the time in school when you were younger?
Yes, she was actually the principal at a school that was kind of our rival at some point. So it's kind of interesting. She had a really close relationship with our principal, so she always kept tabs on us.
You poor guy. You poor guy. What about sisters and brothers? Do you have any siblings?
Yes, I have an older sister who is 29 now. She's a nurse. Then I have an older brother who's 5 years older than me. And then I have a little brother who's a sophomore at Mizzou right now.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Are they competitive people? Because you seem to be extremely competitive.
Yeah, they're pretty competitive.
Yeah.
So growing up, we were all pretty competitive with about anything we did. So it was fun. I enjoyed it.
Being competitive. We have not had, and it's just a matter of fact, we haven't had a lot of success in terms of wins or losses on the field. And how does that affect the competitiveness in you? How do you continue to give that great effort?
Actually, I feel like it drives me a little more. Coming from a program like we had in high school, it was kind of, your effort and your attitude was all there, and coming here is a real challenge, to keep that up on a weekly basis if, you weren't seeing the wins every week. So I kind of changed how I thought about things and just decided that, if you're not winning every week, then, you're doing something wrong. So it actually drives me a little bit more, I think. So I've had to change my mindset a little bit, but I think it's been for the better.
Coach Weigel said this week that he can tell the effort is there because he watches the last kick, the last extra point or whatever, and if guys are still going hard on that last kick, he knows they've been, the effort is still there. You agree with that? Is that kind of what you're talking about?
Yeah, absolutely. if guys are willing to go all out, even up until the last snap, especially with the losses that we've had, to be honest, they haven't been barn burners exactly. So if guys are still going out and giving 110% on the very last snap, that means the effort's there. It's just got to get some other stuff straightened out.
Leadership, is that part of your deal?
Yeah, I try to be a leader on the team.
Well, it's hard because there are some negative things that we have to deal with.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff like that. I think that's one of the things that this team really has developed over the last spring and winter conditioning is we've had a lot of young guys step up and take really good leadership roles. I've tried to do the same, so it's just a little different for me coming from being the guy, kind of the supporting role, and we've had other guys in the middle that take care of stuff like that, and having to transfer into being a little bit of a leader, it's been a challenge, but especially I think the younger guys have done really well with that.
Quite, I've heard from coaches and from players that the locker room, despite the results on the scoreboard, is very solid, and that's something that maybe wasn't always true going back even way before your time. But could you talk about that a little bit? What is that cohesiveness all about?
Yeah, we have a great locker room. Last fall now, Coach Weigel told us that that's one of the first things we're going to have to get in check is got to have a great locker room to be great on the field, and I think everybody really took it to heart. It's a lot of fun, guys always playing around, everybody's just really good buddies. There's not really any separate groups or anything like that. The freshmen come in and they're good friends with a lot of us, so and it's that's something tough to do. So locker room's great environment right now, and I think we'll start seeing that translation onto the field soon.
Let's shift a little bit and talk about your academic pursuits. You're a good student, Dean's List, all GLVC academic team. What are you doing in school, and what do you want to do, more importantly, after school?
So right now I'm majoring in business administration and psychology. It's been going really well. I like it. I didn't start out in those fields. Started out in pre-physical therapy. Didn't really like that route, so really enjoyed it. I think that's why school's been, I've had decent grades, is because I really enjoy what I'm doing here. I enjoy the teachers, and the curriculum's a lot of fun. So right now I'm interning in contracts, actually, for a company. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
I really like it, so hopefully that turns into something down the road.
I love college because it's a great chance to explore, like you said, a lot of different pathways. But what do you see yourself doing after graduation, or at least a general area?
Hopefully just somewhere in the business world is kind of what I'm looking at. So not really sure where I'll be or anything like that yet. Right. So got a lot of figuring out to do before now in May.
Sure. Well, Jewel is a very academically oriented school, rightfully so. But how does, and I think you'll know what I mean, how does athletics help you with school and vice versa? In other words, the combination, why is it good?
It's awesome, actually. I'd say every day that I don't think I'd have the grades I'd have unless I played football, because it really kind of keeps me in check. If you don't have the grades and you don't play, stuff like that, and obviously I want to play and be there on the field, so it teaches a lot about time management, I think, is the biggest thing. If you got football, lifting, classes, all this stuff, you got to keep it all in order, else you just lose your mind. So it's been really good for time management. I learned really well what to do with my time, how to spend it effectively, and be efficient. So
I'm really glad you brought that up, because really, to a person that I've interviewed their last 2 years, that's what they always say, is that once they got the time management thing licked, that was pretty good.
Absolutely, that was a good thing.
We've had a chance to visit here for a few moments, but if you had a chance to tell people something about you that maybe would surprise them, what do you think that would be? What's the thing people don't know about you?
Let's see. Usually it's the 8-man football thing.
Oh, really?
We've already covered that, I guess. I don't really know. The small town thing's usually my go-to when I go to all that. So,
isn't that right?
Yeah, I graduated with 20 people, so it's a lot different than most people. So.
Yeah. Did Jewel figure into your plans then, because it's a little smaller college? Did that help, or?
I actually had a buddy that I went to high school with that was a football player here, and he really influenced me a lot with the school and told me what it was like, and it wasn't, the huge university that, you think about, and huge class sizes, which was a big thing I liked. a lot of schools I was looking at, I kept finding myself looking and liking smaller schools better, and this seemed to just be a really, really good fit. So.
Well, you've been a great fit for us, and I hope that you continue to feel it's a good fit for you. It's been a pleasure to watch you, and looking forward to the rest of this season. And because you're a fun guy to watch on defense, and people should keep their eyes on 28. So
appreciate it.
Quayde Bauman has been our guest. It's the HyVee Halftime Report, and we're back with the second half after this.